Check, check. Hello and welcome to season 3 of Do It for the Underground. I am, of course, your host, Robbie Pankow, and I am back with just the same underground news, interviews, music reviews, all the shit you like from us, but for a third year in a row, baby. We are back. It is Big Bad 2026, and we are coming to you with motherfucking content, baby. So what are we doing this year? What are we doing this season that's so different than the last ones? Honestly, not a ton. It's me, it's Fats, it's underground, it's juggalo shit, it's horrorcore, it's hip hop. It's a little sprinkle of various styles of rock and roll. It's Daddy Diff Tug talking to you, baby audience, my little babies, my cute little babies, the audience. It's me talking to you about music, and we're going to start right now. On today's show, we've got an exclusive interview. That's right. No one else has got this. MTV doesn't got this. 60 Minutes doesn't got this. Any other internet shows doesn't got this. We have James Joyce the Squatch, officially announced today, the day this drops, as the brand new signee to Rogue Hollow. Now, what in the fuck is Rogue Hollow, you might be asking? Rogue Hollow is a little label, a little collective, a little brand. Listen, I didn't ask the fucking people at the top of this organization how they like to describe it. I probably should, but Rogue Hollow is, let's say, a label run by Stray and Sky Swamp Orange novels. These guys have been doing this Rogue Hollow shit for years, and now joining them is James Joyce the Squatch. He's got an incredible record dropping April 16th called Discomfort In. I got early access to it and have been literally unable to listen to other music. This thing is so fucking good. We'll talk about it in the interview, but for now, I'm just gonna hype it. Go get your pre-orders in. We're gonna get to that. That's number one thing on today's show. Then we got our Legion Realm higher ups, our Legion Realm bosses, the people that spank me on my little tush when I act out. S.O.N. Somethin Outta Nothin. He took a trip down to Miami, Florida for Juggalo Weekend, and he got a bunch of footage for us, and we're going to show that. We're going to give you a little Juggalo Weekend Miami POV from the underground. It's going to be fun. I'm going to edit a little package together. You're going to love it. Then, our very own Fats King. Did you miss Fats King as much as I did? Did you miss seeing him every month on your YouTube? I know I sure did. And he has got a fantastic interview with Brian Foster of We Are Media. They sat down to talk about Marijuambies, Brian's movie. If you've not seen it, see it. Cartoon Bondurant's in it. Listen, if you haven't seen this thing, check it out. It's a lot of fun. You're going to learn all about it. And then, closing us out, as always, I'm going to hit you with the craziest fucking new music roundup you can even imagine. We got a bunch of records to talk about that we didn't get to yet, like Alla Xul Elu's No Masters. Ever heard of it? Siamese Goat God, Pleroma, Ouija Macc's Pyramid of Skulls. We're going to talk about Low Key. We're going to talk about Neon Sermon. We're going to get into a whole fuck ton of new music because we took a break. And I ain't ashamed to say it. Sometimes daddy needs a break. We're starting the year off with a bang, baby. Season 3. It's us. It's Diff Tug. We back. You back. We're back. You're back. That's the incorrect grammar and then the correct grammar version, just for people that hate grammar. And then if people are like, well, no, I know grammar. So anyway, let's start it off with today's top story. And this really is today's top story because it was announced today that James Joyce the Squatch has officially joined Rogue Hollow. He's in there with Stray. He's in there with Novels. He's in there with Sky Swamp Orange. He might be in there with other motherfuckers, and we just don't know about it yet. We're waiting for more news. But for now, we got enough news. We got Squatch on the label. He is dropping a fantastic record. I can't sell this thing to you enough, called Discomfort In. I can't get over how much I fucking love this record. This is one of the best rap albums I've heard in a long time. Not one of the best albums in the underground, not one of the best Juggalo adjacent, whatever. This is one of the best rap albums I've heard in a long time, and I am so stoked on this. So don't let me oversell it to you. If you think it sucks when it comes out, I'm sorry. I can only speak my truth. But what else I can speak is speak to James Joyce, the Squatch himself. We sat down, talked about the signing, talked about the record, and we've got that coming up now. And when it ends, we're going to show you a little clip of his new music video. Strap in, watch it right now. Robbie Pankow, James Joyce, the Squatch, chatting right here on Do It for the Underground. Welcome back to Do It for the Underground. I, of course, am your host, Robbie, and I'm here today with, we can say it officially on camera, Rogue Hollow's own James Joyce, the Squatch. Welcome to the show. Thank you for doing this.
Hey, man, pleasure to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Tell the audience, who may not be familiar with you, a little about yourself, some of your background, in the rap game and elsewhere. I know you do a lot of video work. Just to give the people some background.
Absolutely. So my name is James Joyce, the Squatch. Originally born in Brooklyn, New York. Currently reside out in Connecticut. I've been holding everything down here ever since. Basically come from a long line of starting in the underground scene, a lot of battle rapping. That's, where me and my boy Donnie Menace actually linked up to form what Nightbreed originally was, during the battle rap circuit. That thus leading into, just enjoying the music scene. I've been able to collaborate with a lot of my favorite and a lot of others artists, such as Cheeto XL, Tame One, Diabolic, so on and so forth. And currently just trying to keep that momentum moving while being a cinematographer and doing music videos for a lot of the artists in the scene.
Yeah, our audience would definitely know the quirky pop punk song, Super Famous Fun Time Guys video, and a couple that you done for them.
Yeah, great people.
Before we get into the Rogue Hollow stuff, talk a little bit about Nightbreed, what that was, what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nightbreed was formed by Donnie Menace. I want to say almost over a decade and some change ago, probably 13 years. We started really being almost like a dojo sense. We would always do music alongside each other, collabs within projects, but we started through battle rap. As far as getting the grounds for the group, it was a great run while it was, and then we just put our gears and more to music. And Donnie and I, we were constantly plotting and working behind the scenes on new shit, from music videos to tons of collab work and stuff like that. I got more songs with Donnie than I do with anybody else.
And then what brought you over to Rogue Hollow? What started I know you and Stray are both Connecticut guys. How did that kind of develop?
One thing that definitely helped is being from Connecticut. Stray and I have been working with each other for, I can't even remember how long, but we've always done shows together, just in passing. That's how we met. Everywhere I was going in my journey, I would see somebody like Stray there as well. And, it was a trusting process to know that this dude is a hard worker. One of the few people that I believe is trying to be different. And even just in an underground where everybody thinks it has to be grimy, reminding people that you could fucking sing a little bit, you could have a little bit of soul, and not to be afraid to be happy, it's could be all scary and all this other shit, but it seems like people are afraid to be happy sometimes. So I give that dude a lot of props for how he takes his music. So him knowing how I do things behind the scene, and the vast talents that we both acquired along the road, it was a shoo-in, so we had to come up with a plan, and that's what we're currently doing right now, and putting that in motion with the squad that is currently assembling.
And yeah, what were the early conversations on that? When did this start getting into action of oh, you're going to come over to this team, or we're going to drop this record?
Probably about a month and a half ago.
Oh,
we've always told each other we want to work more, and him having his own project. So once we were able to both recalibrate and get back to things, that's when the group stuff started talking. I was already at the end of my album, and it was the best time to not only bring an album back out into the scene after a while, but announce it alongside people such as Stray and the Rogue Hollow team.
And yeah, it has been a while since you've dropped an album. I guess you dropped a Dent 1 project in 2020?
Yep, Dapper Scumbags, the reality check cashing.
Wake up, wipe the crust from both eyes. Joyce is making noises like old guys. Downstairs, feel the warmth of the stove rise. Lady prep for breakfast, I'm making home fries.
That was the Nightbreed project because he was somebody who used to work within the group at the time. It was something that we were just excited to do beginning of the pandemic. Literally just like grabbed a shit ton of studio equipment because I never recorded myself or did anything like that. I was one of those people that was able to take advantage of that pandemic cha-ching that everybody was getting their, stuff. And rather than spend it on fentanyl and all the other shit, I was like, let's be productive. And we made an album there in like fucking 3 months.
And that was 2020. So this is the first like project you've dropped in 6 years about?
Yeah, no, for real. And I've been doing nothing but like scattered singles and working within like the video stuff to open doors for music because, it's a great way to meet people. It's a great way to work with the artists that everybody's chasing in a different light and be able to like, bring yourself into these worlds with more leverage. Now that I was able to acquire that and put more focus into what needed to be for myself, the album just was able to flow, and the people attached, everything just worked out how it needed to. But definitely would say my second album, because like the other two guys were just like mixtapes, and this is the closest thing I feel to like a sophomore project.
And that's since 2016 was your first album. 10 years coming even. The album's called Discomfort In. It's dropping April 16th. So people know you from the singles and from the previous projects as like a battle rapper, like bars, heavy, shit talker. And that's on here for sure. But there's a lot of other stuff on here, a lot of moodier stuff, a lot of really like nostalgic stuff. What I'm hearing is a lot of looking over the past and like kind of coming to terms with like relationships that have wavered or moved on from. And I'm hearing you become an adult on this record, I think, and look back at yourself as a kid and with positive memories, but happy to move on.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. Like the whole idea behind Discomfort In is like you want it to feel like home as much as like when we get out there, we vacation, we shed these different layers, but we eventually gotta leave, and we gotta grow up, we have to move on. And I feel like one of the things I really want to echo with the sentiments of that album is giving in without giving up.
Right.
Going with the flow of life and the changes that come with it, because there's been so much that has happened from those projects, like everything from becoming a father, a husband, a homeowner, like just trying to make it in life, you know what I mean? And like being able to not only like tell people that you can keep doing that kind of stuff and keep a dream alive, but like normalize change, normalize like not being complacent and going with the changes of life.
It's been hitting for me super like this is way too personal, but whatever. I was walking down the street today listening to the record, getting ready for this, and I was walking to the coffee shop listening to Molting Truth, which I just can't get enough of this song. And I was like shedding tears because I was thinking about my dirtbag friends that I grew up with and us drinking too much and where I am now in life. And it's just like, I don't know, the sentiment of that track and the whole record really like speak to me a ton. So thank you for putting something like that out in this scene, because I don't think we get enough of that kind of adult music in that way.
Appreciate
it. I can't say enough how much I'm very much backing this project and how much I like it, and I hope everyone else does as well.
Yeah, I couldn't appreciate it more. Molting Truth is like the baby of that album, man. Like I put like the album had like a quick single that me and Charlie had put together, but like that song was like almost 2-3 years in the making. Like that was like going through grief of like losing one of my closest friends, like a bunch of the changes in life as far as, the losses, the outgrowing your surroundings and like survivor's guilt because of it. And like with the amount of crap that we got going on, like there has to be some level of hope at the end, or else like what are we doing this for? Like, I don't believe in nihilism and stuff like that. I would like to think of lights at the end of the tunnel not being the train coming forward, the way a lot of people try to romanticize. And just one of those things that like we all need to hear. Like, like the hardest thing about growing up, I feel, is relatability. When you start, making those positive changes and realizing a lot of your surroundings can't be compatible with that no more. So to normalize this and like give that other person at the end of that, that listener, like, hey, you're not alone. We go through it. Like, don't feel like you're being crazy by making these decisions, and trust the process.
One of the elements of that track is the hook. Like, you are a songwriter on this album. Like you've been a rapper for a long time, but you are writing really strong hooks and melodies and like fitting into the beat in a way that's very musical. Was that a natural development, or was that like an effort that you made specifically for this?
So I've been always like experimenting with like melody for a while. From growing up, any of the people that I was into always were able to like sing a hook or be able to at least like make you move your body and your head a little more than just like, listening to bars and like, all this like lyricism with the spiritual lyrical shit, that people can kind of get lost up in. And it's just something that's I've always been passionate about. I feel like I've definitely was able to refine those talents and like genuinely be more comfortable, because I feel like a lot of people, when they get into this like hardcore scene, or like everything being rugged and raw and grimy, people then feel like they're not allowed to have these kind of songs in their catalog, not realizing like you're giving people access to like who you are as a person, as well as, again, like normalizing the other emotions that we go through. Because like, if I listen to a guy and every day it's like murder, 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 kill, 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 eventually I'm going to be like, that motherfucker is somebody I don't want to be around. Like, I feel like anybody, if you were in a bus stop and you'd seen that, you'd fucking walk to work at that point. Like, right. You don't want to be around that kind of shit. So like the singing was something that I genuinely wanted to shed like the pride with, and trying a lot more. Charlie Beans for this project as well. That guy needs to be into like artist development, and like, that man helped me like through this album and giving me the layout and the score to truly make this work. And on top of that, that man can sing as well. He helped provide background vocals on that hook. There was part of the bridge where he like dominated that part, and then did backgrounds with me for the hook to make this what it needed to be. And I could not be more grateful and happy with the process and an artist like Charlie Beans was on this project, because he produced literally, he produced 14 of the 16 tracks, and wow. could not be more proud with what this man was doing.
And mixed, right, too?
Mixed as well. This dude is a one man like fucking production studio, like artist coach, like everything. Like, truly want anybody that's even looking at me after this project to make sure you check out Charlie Beans as well, because that man is a hidden gem.
We're going to play a little clip after this of the new video.
Yeah, so this was actually the first song of the album that was like given to Charlie before Molting Truth was like finally broken. We were trying to go for that nice scumbag vibe. The song is called Know Your Worth. Know you're worthless. Like to do the entendre of like hope and torture, because like I heard this down the line where it's like, without hope, torture cannot exist, or else people will just give up, and as much as I like it and am attracted to the light, I like being able to dangle the darkness on top of it. So it's always a good mix of that duality. I filmed the video myself. We were able to do this shit out in Waterbury, Connecticut, and like, some of the cool monuments. And, I'm hoping that it's a nice introduction to what this project could sound like without ruining the surprises.
I don't need these fucking kids.
Hit him in the heart, Charlie.
Leave behind a bad taste like roach blunts and cold coffee. Can't hack it with the best if you're cold faulty. Bitch, comb my chest hair, take the robe off me. Different animal, I make a toe froggy. You ain't pop tags, but you stole laundry. Waterbury, yo, get your clothes soggy. Silent Hill pack it, the road foggy. Work so hard on itself just to go slob me. Flavors back, you can savor that. Pussy loafing on the bread like bodega cats. Knew you a bitch, just making sure that the data match. Pull cards, files, knife handles without a blade attached. Why the quality drop? If you know better, do better, baby. So it's gotta be Squatch.
If that's this sweet who even needs revenge, they fatten us up just to bleed us thin. It's okay, okay, okay. The depths get darker as we descend.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you might know, Do It For The Underground is an official Legion Realm product. It is brought to you by Legion Realm and has been since day one. Now, you might be asking, what in the fuck is Legion Realm? Well, if you don't know, Legion Realm is a collection of musicians, content creators, tattoo artists, mask makers, so on and so forth, headed by the one and only S.O.N, Somethin Outta Nothin. On the music side, you've got S.O.N, Keegan Grimm, Apollo Exodus, MJ Lovecraft. They recently performed their first ever set as a collective at Clockwork E's Juggalo Weekend show in Columbus, Ohio. I have a feeling it will not be the last, and you will be hearing new music and new content from all of these motherfuckers all year long. And on our front, one of the perks of being directly involved with Legion Realm is that we get to bring you exciting things like our next segment. As you may know, Juggalo Weekend recently took place in Miami, and our very own S.O.N, Somethin Outta Nothin, was there on the scene. He jumped up on stage and performed with Clockwork E, he hung out with his friends in Alla Xul Elu, and he just generally jugged out and had a great time. And he sent us a bit of footage to commemorate the trip, which we will show you shortly. But first, a few plugs. S.O.N will be appearing at Juggalo Ohio 4, along with super famous Funtime guys, Clockwork E, Darby O'Trill, and of course, 2 nights of Ouija Macc. Just this literal upcoming weekend as you watch this. There are 2 nights, and we hope you go out there and support our boys. And number 2, S.O.N is having his very own birthday bash at the Crow's Nest, April 11th. This is going to feature some very exciting performances. Dean, are you familiar with Dean, the pig god? He retired last year, which you might know, but he did not have a retirement show in the Midwest area, and he is playing one final show ever at the Crow's Nest for S.O.N's birthday. That's huge news. We also have the first ever performance by Satanic Steakhouse. Now, what the fuck is Satanic Steakhouse? We are going to get all into that in the new music roundup, but for now, just be excited. That's fucking crazy. Meathead himself on stage for you. They're going to have Clockwork E, Siamese Goat God, the entire Legion Realm team will be there, will be performing. It is going to be huge. Be there or be a dumb idiot. You dummy. S.O.N's birthday bash at the Crow's Nest is going to be so sick, and I am very jealous. And speaking of things I'm jealous of, this next segment, it looks like the boys had a great time in Miami, and here is some footage to commemorate that right here on Do It For The Underground.
We're here in Miami Beach. It's happening with you, the soul, the heart, doing it for the underground. We love you. While we're out here in the sunshine,
I'm out here.
You're at home
out with the devil,
doing dumb shit, but we still love you. You do all that dumb shit, baby. We'll be out here representing you. We love you.
Hey, I'm just looking through a screen. I tell them that my name is Stacy. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Wanna fuck me, baby, baby? You can come back to my house and you won't ever leave again. And I can have 3 dicks at once if I just wear your silver skin. We can dance the night away. Kyle dies for million times. I can't lie, I played this whole thing out like 500,000 times. You know, yo, we're gonna choke and poke the thing to jump your dream. But now you're stuck inside a nightmare like a human centipede.
Suck it slow, suck the tip, lick my hole, eat my shit, drink my cum, suck my butt, suck it good till I bust a nut.
Hey, yo, homie, I'm sick again. I don't go this long without heroin. So if you loan me 100, I'll share the shit. We can both find out where my parents live. Stay low on bread, we can just steal stuff from the store instead. And I do know a guy we can trade it in. He'll give half price on anything we get. Now go pump that kid off his coffee bike. And when his brother shows up, better win that fight. Bet I won't jump in if it's one-on-one. I just take that bike while you're squaring up. I'ma be right I'ma just stay put on, keep it watching. We gon' share that loot. I didn't have the job.
It's somebody's birthday! Oh shit, it's your birthday!
It ain't my motherfucker. Bring the violence, bring the dawn. Juggalo Weekend. Make it painful, make it suffer. Reintroducing to you. Bring the violence, bring the dawn. Real to violent serial killer. Make it painful, make it suffer. Billy Open, the biggest part of the parents. You're employed by the devil, I'm gonna start running errands. Carve out the heart of your parents, didn't know for them before. Or leave a spot on the floor. Fucked up since the sun's up. I'm a fucked up and I'm feeling like I'm falling down. I've been fucked up since a young pup. Now I'm grown up, feeling like giving. I'll be helpless in the Christ, but I'm still in some sandals. Turning bitches' heads into city candles. Like your lights is all killers, killers and us cons. They never second guess when it's suicide bomb. In the churches we call the Pope. Think of the microscopes under the microscope. You can see it's all demon faces and symbols. In my name, what you see, tremble and simple.
Gotta go now!
Faith message loaded in the clip of the 9. Revelations in the chamber bring the ending of time.
Legion in this bitch, Long Live Evil in this bitch, Clockworky in this bitch.
What the fuck is up, y'all? I am Fats King, and this is Do It for the Underground. And I am joined by a very, very close friend of mine, and somebody who, whether you know it or not, you've seen his work across the entire underground. I am joined by the king of We Are Media, Brian Foster. What's up, brother?
I love that intro.
I got a plethora of shit I want to ask you, but I want to get something quick out of the way first, because you used to rap. You used to be a performer. And the thing that I always liked about when you would rap, the thing I loved that there was a humor that you brought to it that not a lot of other guys had the ability to. I'm speaking specifically of two songs. Poe Up with the Hellfire Crew, Poe, Adrian Bless, and Nasty Inc. And then I'm talking about Ford Tempo with Fams and the super famous Fun Time guys. Those two verses from you might be some of the funniest shit I've ever heard anybody fucking put into rap.
I appreciate that. Well, I didn't just try to do comedy stuff all the time. I just felt what the song was about. If you actually dug into like the music I had, there was some comedy in there, but I had such a huge deep side too, and an emotional side. And if you dig, you'll see that I had more of that. I could just kind of follow the vibe is what it felt like. It felt like if there was something that needed something hype and real, and I was there. If we're chopping people up, I could be there too, you know?
I just wanted to touch on that because that's something that I've always wanted to ask you in the time that I've known you. I just haven't got around to it.
Man, I forget that I'm on these songs, and then I enter all the underground scenes with you guys. Like I'll go to camp, and then I'll go to some of the festivals and things like that. And I forget that people know me from these tracks. And I'm like, I just think I'm the video guy there now because I've molded myself to be that. So when I go there and people are like, hey man, you killed that track on, and Ford Tempo is the last thing on my mind. It's like, Ford Tempo, fucking what? It's so cool, man. I love it.
And that's something that like a lot of people don't know about you. So, you know, go back and check out Super Hostile if you get a chance. It's good shit. I promise you. There's a nice little plug for you. The real thing we're here to talk about though is we're here to talk about Marijuambies. Hey. This is fun. I could see the effort that you put into it as far as how good it turned out. But I can also see this edge of I'm not trying. I know that that's not really the case. I know you worked your ass off to get this thing off the ground. So I'd love to talk about that. Yeah. Let's go first to the idea. How did you and I guess it was Carrie come up with this shit?
We used to sit around and spitball skits all the time at each other. We was fucking big stoners, and we would just sit, you know, we always created. We made music. That was my music partner too, my best friend. So we would just create and try to think of cool skits to come up with. We thought about Marijuambies one time, and we did like a short. We tried to do it one day. I thought I could make a movie in one day. Who the fuck? It was a complete, utter disaster. But years down the line, we just kept coming back to this concept. And like, man, we gotta execute this. Why not? Why not write it? Why not show
we could do it. Why not try to execute it? Why not just see where we go and have fun? And that's kind of where the I don't care aspect comes in, because that's kind of the soul of the movie. It's the soul was, we're going to do this and we don't care. Well, our whole joke is that we're Reggie smokers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a sure sign that we don't care what you think. We just want to have a great time. And I really hope that authenticity of that showed, because we're not a big Hollywood film. We're not, I was paying for that out of my pocket. So when I come out and it's kind of like I don't give a fuck. I do care. And you're 100% correct about that. I do care a lot. But that is kind of my marketing push. Like, you can Joan this. I get every Joan. I get people talk down, all this ain't that. This ain't that. People are really entitled these days. What we had was something that everybody can kind of relate to. Some broke motherfuckers with some Reggie and a video camera. Like, let's have some fun. So it's hater proof to me. And you can hate on, I get it,
But fuck you for hating on it, because, like, where's your movie first and foremost? That's how I feel about that.
People think that it's so easy to do. And I'm not new to filmmaking. I've been filmmaking for over a decade, and it's still a challenge. And I think when I made the movie, it kind of made me look at other movies better too. Like, I started respecting movies that I hated, like, because I respected the profit. Like, I see what you did there. It's so hard to execute.
What was the actual creation process? How long did this take? How long were you shooting? What were your days like? What was the living, breathing creation of this shit?
I filmed for 10 years, whatever, and I've made probably 1,000 music videos. I made skits. I made everything. But like I said, we kept coming back to this concept. And then I had like this weird universal shift. It's really hard to explain in words what happened, but something shifted inside of me, and I threw the music out in one day. This happened in one day. I threw the music out. I quit watching TV. I quit listening to the radio, working out every day, meditating, learning breath work, microdosing. Anything I could do to expand my brain is all I cared about. Anything that would give me an edge above who I was. Right. So, and it was obsessive. It was 24/7. And one of those things that I wanted to do with that is I wanted to finish a full script. I wanted to write this movie, but it was such a challenge to just sit down and make this happen. Right. And then you got to do another draft, then another draft, then another draft. All right. And then not only did I have to do that to get a crew, I had to go work for other people on their set to get a crew for mine. So I spent a whole another year working for other people for free. I was just going out and giving all my camera work. I was giving my audio work, my editing, anything I could do to secure a cast and crew. And that's how I got everybody. And that's how I got my locations. That's how I got my makeup. That's how I got everything. It's just bartered.
That's guerrilla as fuck.
Guerrilla, bro, straight from the mud.
That's
like,
fucking...
this is the origin story of origin stories. I'm making it, like I told you, I didn't have gas to get to my set sometimes. I didn't have gas to get to their set sometimes. It was hard, but I made it happen every single time. Never called up, never did nothing. I showed up every fucking time. So you got to think the writing process was huge. Then the booking the crew process was very long. And then it took me almost a year and a half to shoot it. And that's because everybody had the day job. Everybody had a job. I get Carrie once a week for like 5 hours. Right. So this is like, it's driving me bonkers, dude. I mean, it's the craziest thing, but that took another year and a half. So honestly, the full process from the idea all the way to the execution was probably 8 years.
Jesus fuck.
Right? But when I actually sat down to make the movie, I'm going to say it was about 3 years.
What was your first fucking premiere like? Like, did you feel like a star? Or did
my
you feel
God.
like...
Facts, bro. It was the best day of my life. You got to think, bro, I've just spent so much of my life on this, and I have no idea if people are just going to be like, what in the
What was
living
that?
spot. Yeah, bro. So I had no idea what to expect. When I put the tickets on sale, I sold out that first 130 minutes, bro. It felt so great, but still, I'm nervous. People are coming up. I don't know what's going to happen at this premiere. I get all this shit together. I'm working on it all week. Everybody starts piling in. It gets fucking jam-packed in there. So I'm like, all right, what's going to happen? How's this going to feel? I'm back there with my heart pumping all weird. Bro, I felt like this as a kid, bro. Like I'm nervous. I've never been this nervous. I will post music all day. I don't care what anybody says. I'll go up and perform in front of a crowd. I don't care. My heart was beating to where I had to do breathing techniques to calm myself down, bro.
Right.
But from the very beginning, when it started, when that first logo came on, the whole crowd erupted, right? And then my name popped up. I just remember this. I'm getting chills right now. I remember my name popped up that said, written and directed by Brian Foster. And dude, the crowd, it sounded like when I went to watch Endgame in theater. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it was crazy. So I was like, I was feeling real good right then. I'm like, okay, if I can get them to cheer at first, that means I marketed it. I did really good marketing. Now let's see if I can get them cheer at the end. If I end it well, then I got a good execution, right? Bro, every joke is landing. And at the very end, that last logo came on, bro. We got a fucking standing ovation. And it was like roaring in there. And I know it's only 150 people, and this might be small people, but when I came in, I had no idea what was going to happen. My hand hurt from shaking hands the whole time. I signed more autographs than I've ever signed in my life. People are proud. Carrie's dad is like so proud of it. He comes through, he's like, thank you for putting my boy on. He loved it. And this is like, I don't know, man. It was just it blew away my expectations because I didn't know what to expect. So I didn't want to, hype myself up and then be depressed afterwards. But bro, blew me away. I think about that like one of the best times of my life. It was hard to think about it right then because I still had so much work to do.
Right.
But now I can reflect on it and go, man, that was so cool, dude. What a fucking great experience.
Will there be a sequel? And is that the next project that you're talking about?
There will be a sequel. I already have the plot. It's brilliant. it's pride. And like I said, the quality is going to be 100 times better this time around. Between the investors I've met, the knowledge I got, the people I resourced with and networking, the quality is going to be amazing. But as far as the next project, no, it's not.
Okay.
Because I don't want to end up like the Sharknado evil where there's just like 10 movies in of the same thing, because I have more to offer than that. I do have it's kind of like my music was like, it's crazy. We started this conversation with that because I do have a funny side, but then I have a serious emotional side too. And that's something I want to explore in film as well. I know that my emotional side isn't going to sell as good as something like Marijuambies, because Marijuambies is just a marketing fucking plug. You could market it for years. My emotional side isn't going to pop as hard, but I had to come Marijuambies first. Some kind of fun, absurd, get people's attention, let people know that I really can do this. Then I think I'm going to go more soft comedy, emotional for my next one. I want to really tie it in with something deep, but not too deep to where it's like, you got to be a sappy fucking emo to watch.
Right.
I'll meet in the middle. I have some ideas. I'm not married to anything right now though, which worries me because that means I still got work to do.
Any new projects? Where can they find you on social media? Any of that shit?
You guys want to check out Marijuambies? They did accept us on Amazon Prime and Fandango at home. They won't let us do it for free, or I would just put it on there for free streaming.
It's $3 fucking bucks. Shut up and pay it.
Right. It's $10 to own it, $3 to rent it. We get some of the proceeds. That's not what it's about right now. It's about growing and so audience. If you guys want to follow me on Facebook, it's Brian Foster, the most white boring name in the world. But you can find me on there as Brian Foster, Brian with an I, and check out my shit posting. Sometimes I post my music. Sometimes it's movies. Sometimes I post my music video work. I will be looking for new actors and extras and all that stuff here coming soon for our new project that's going to come up. Guys, follow me. You might be one of those extras. So
I cannot thank you enough for doing this. I appreciate the fuck out of you sitting down, just chopping it up with me. And, back to you, Robbie.
Thank you, Fats. Now, as you may have noticed, that was an edited version of this interview. It was trimmed down to fit into a larger episode, but the full 30-minute interview between Fats King and Brian Foster will be appearing on the Do It For The Underground YouTube page shortly. So go subscribe, go hit the bell, go get notifications when that shit goes live. But for now, we are jumping into everyone's favorite segment on the show. Probably, it might be mine. It might be my favorite because I love nothing more than music. And what's the best kind of music? New music. And what's the best way to corral new music? To round it up. So we are jumping right in to the new music roundup. Now, we've been on a pretty hefty break. I think the last new music roundup came at the end of October, maybe. So there are a couple things that are going to fall through the cracks, and I apologize for that. If you are an artist who had an album release in like November, I'm so sorry. We're going to jump right into 2026, maybe whisper about the final days of 2025, and just get you up to date on all the newest, greatest, best, and coolest music that is dropping in the underground as we speak, starting with Alla Xul Elu. Now, if you were paying attention last year, Alla Xul Elu was slowly, steadily rolling out something called No Masters. There were samplers, there was a live performance at Camp Xul that blew my personal socks off, and it all led to the brand new LP No Masters by Alla Xul Elu.
Trying to unwind my demons over drum lines for the one time Jim Jones punchline. Sick fuck, body bag zipped up. 12 more dead in the back of a Ford pickup.
This album had a bit of an interesting rollout as Apple decided to just slap that motherfucker up on iTunes for sale, for regular sale, basically 2 full weeks before it was supposed to be released, which could have been a negative thing, but Xul turned it into a positive. They promoted it, and the album was #1 on the iTunes rap and hip hop charts for like a bunch of days. This thing did very well on iTunes. And then January 30th, it was available everywhere for everyone. And I have not heard one whisper of disappointment about this thing. This is an excellent Alla Xul Elu album. It's dark, it's gritty, it's boom bappy, doom bappy, if you will. This thing is what I love about Alla Xul Elu. Songs like Bring the Violence, Underneath the Floorboards.
The drugs in my bloodstream peaking, floorboards creaking every weekend. Think I hear the dead speaking. The kids are playing hide and seek. The wifey washing dishes. I'm in the attic with the candles. I'm seeing apparitions.
Church burner. My gosh.
They say her, God erase her, sin eater, non-believer. Waited till the 7th, killed them all like I'm supposed to do. The handsome man on channel 7, he up and told me to. He told me they're unholy and I'm good, so I shouldn't worry. Left no evidence, they checked the cameras, the footage blurry.
This record is insane. This takes Xul right back to the shit that I fell in love with from them in the early days, from, the Head of Horns through Almighty sound, with a little bit of like Mausoleum maybe thrown in there. Everybody is rapping their ass off. Lee Carver, I think, is stealing the show on a good amount of this. He is fired up here. The hooks are great. The beats are great. If you were like, where do I jump in with Alla Xul Elu, this band that I have heard the name, never listened to, I would honestly suggest just go to No Masters, give that a listen. It is a very, very good album. It's like neck and neck with, the best of their catalog. And it feels like sort of a refresh for the group. I think of it like this. Head of Horns was like a reemergence from what they had done in the past as a local group. And then the Almighty was on a new label. It felt like a reemergence. They had a new member. Lee Carver joined the group. It was a reintroduction. From the Almighty, you've got Church of Xul, Mausoleum, Gods of Evil Rise. Those feel like an encapsulated story, almost like a comic book, like that's one arc of the Xul story. And then this feels like a complete refresh, reset, fully independent on Long Live Evil. The story that was told in the Magic Ninja albums feels kind of naturally to have come to a close with Gods of Evil Rise, and they're starting something new. And honestly, I don't even know what it is yet. They're teasing the shit out of the character of the Mask Maker. If you listen to the Evidence of Evil sampler, they really dove into that.
Well. If it isn't the accomplice to the Mask Maker killer, I've been waiting to meet you. Hello. You, my friend, are one sick fuck.
I thought that was going to be the theme of this album, but we don't even get to it till the very end, to the last track. So I kind of think going forward, we're going to hear more of that, maybe. I could be totally wrong. I have been before, but I feel like this next arc of Xul is opening with the Mask Maker, sort of, and we are diving into that. The Churchlings have been out there. They sold Churchling masks with the pre-orders, and then you've been seeing them appear in videos and in public with little Churchlings that are their little minions of sorts. There's a lot of really cool, interesting shit going on with Xul right now, and if you're new to them, great time to jump in. If you watch this show, you're probably not new to them, but No Masters is an excellent Alla Xul Elu album, and from what I hear, they have way more coming. Whatever these guys have coming, which apparently is multiple albums in the year 2026, I am fucking here for it. These guys are on fire. They are liberated from their previous deal, and you can tell it has them fired up and ready to just drop fucking bangers. So let's fucking go. And speaking of Xul, speaking of bangers, we didn't get to this last year because we were on break. Satanic Steakhouse, Meathead. If you're unfamiliar with this is a new project completely. It's not on Long Live Evil. It is on Bile Bucket Records under the artist Satanic Steakhouse. The album is called Meathead. The character who is talking through the album, you know, the narrator, the rapper, whatever, is Meathead. That is the character. This is all from the mind of Lee Carver of Alla Xul Elu. This feels like, to me, where Nox left off. This is a whole new thing. Meathead, the album, is just the first thing that happened, but apparently there is an upcoming EP that sort of continues Meathead's story, which will be followed by an LP that is of a new character. There's a whole family that has content for you, and this project is really, really cool. I'm just gonna touch on it briefly here because it's a last year album, but I would be remiss if I did not talk about Satanic Steakhouse. We're still early in the year, and I think there's a lot of Satanic Steakhouse coming. And as I mentioned previously, the first ever Satanic Steakhouse live performance will take place at S.O.N's birthday bash at the Crow's Nest in Youngstown, Ohio. If you've been to the Crow's Nest, if you've been kidnapped and put in the Crow's Nest ever, you'll know the size of this place, and for there to be a performance of this momentous nature at this tiny little space is massive. So if there's tickets still available, get those motherfuckers, because this is once in a fucking lifetime, baby. Next up, we have Siamese Goat God with Pleroma.
Crawled out the dirt, born to be dead. See the point of the horns as they form on our heads. Torn through our flesh, dark lord, we request the masses to capture their souls we possess. They burned us at the stake when we were just a baby. Way back, well before them tell them which ladies. 12 years before, it was 1680. Lit torch, pitchforks, villagers go crazy.
Now, if you are not familiar with Siamese Goat God, it is Cartoon Bondurant and Enoch Ex Mortis. These guys started as solo artists. This group sort of formed organically through live performance. So they were two separate solo artists. They still are. Cartoon's been rolling out solo singles alongside this album. And I know Enoch's got another solo album coming. He did the Mud album last year. We talked all about it. These guys formed as a performing duo, sort of as each other's hype mans. Each other's hype men? Whose hype mans is this? These guys started out doing shows together, performing their solo material and sort of tossing in duo songs here and there. But early on, it was very much two solo acts kind of hyping each other and building this really incredible charisma and live performance that is honestly very hard to follow. The chemistry these guys have on stage is crazy. And because of that, Siamese Goat God has sort of eclipsed either of them on a solo level. I mean, when every show in the underground has Siamese Goat God on it, you're going to want Siamese Goat God, you know what I mean? So demand for a Siamese Goat God album has been crazy. So this is it. This is the album, Pleroma. It is here, and it is pretty good. I think it's a very good album by two solo artists putting a group together. And by that, I mean the tracks are bangers. The chemistry is great. The flows are great. There are a few things I'm not in love with. I think the skits and the kind of lore that they've built around the thing don't fully work for me. It's not as strong as something like Mutanoid Underground Dwellers, where their whole universe is sort of built into this lore. Like, the lore is why the group exists, you know? This feels more like there was a huge demand for an album and they built lore to kind of put what is largely a collection of singles together with some kind of theming. I'm not mad at it. For me, when it comes to the theming, though, I think the coolest thing here is Boomsticks featuring Darby O'Trill.
I hear him yelling, he be stretching at the cellar door. Blood dripping, eyes blacker than Skeletor. Padlock chains, nails and extension cords. Through the hole in the floor, I see double horns. Maybe we just let him out. I think he's kind of friendly. Now he's in your head again. He said that's what you tell me.
This was a single previously, but on the verses, you've got Cartoon and Enoch kind of going back and forth, bickering, like almost like the Scooby-Doo gang that happens to be an Evil Dead. It's actually a really cool premise. But that kind of dynamic of them back and forth, almost as like ghost hunters, or like I said, Scooby-Doo motherfuckers, like bickering about how to go about dealing with these ghouls and whatnot, is really cool. And I think that's the song where they nail hardest what could be a dynamic for the group as far as character stuff goes. As far as rapping goes, the shit's fire throughout. These guys have very good chemistry on the mic. They've built it up through a bunch of live shows, and their back and forths are great. Their voices sound great together. Their flows sound great together. They are just different enough to balance each other really well. I think going forward, future projects are going to be better and better and better, and the solo stuff's going to still be great, and the live shows are still going to be great. Super enjoyable album that I wanted a little bit more out of, I think. Kind of like the Emerald Tablets by Clockwork E. When that first came out, I had been really amped for a Clockwork E album, and it came out and I was like, oh, this is the album, you know. And then Anubis came and was crazy and blew me away, and Rent a Friend, and so on. So good album, worth your time. I think they got better in them going forward. Regardless, Siamese Goat God, Pleroma, check it out. Go pick it up. Go pick up a copy. These guys also had some great success with this record on iTunes. It was number 4 on the iTunes charts for quite a while. It was up in the top 50 on the all genres. Like, something's going on here in this scene, man. Like, things are going well for people, which I love to see. It's some kind of combination of just hard work and promotion and artists kind of learning certain tactics, but like, there's movement here, you know. Clockwork E's most recent music video was number 13, maybe higher on the like iTunes hype charts. The underground is pushing and really cool shit is happening, and Siamese Goat God are hustlers, and they are kind of helping to push that forward, and I think it is really cool. And I think in the next year, I think a year from today, we could be talking about huge numbers for some of these guys. Next up, we've got Scum and Smallz 1, also known as SOS collectively, with their brand new album, Unloved by God, Unwanted by Satan.
Wish you had scaled the sail way to this bad guy. Why? Cause I'd rather try to live like the rest. That will not happen, might as well hold my head high till sun's finna shine right through a hole in my chest.
I got locks on locks and these guns stay cocked, cause ain't nobody busting in again and fucking up a spot. Shame that I'm one of the kind, and I'm kind to unkind motherfuckers who keep wasting my time.
This is the follow-up to Blame Us from a few years ago. An album I thought was very good, but this album is much better to me. It's kind of similar to when Scum started working with Insane Poetry, and their first album was almost sort of a bunch of collabs, you know, and then the next one, Unsubs, was like, oh, this is a group now. They figured out the chemistry. They know what they're doing. And this is the same thing for Scum and Smallz 1. I feel like they've really locked in their chemistry and what they're doing. I mean, they've been collaborating since 2007, but I think this is where they figured out how to be a group, you know. I'm a fan of both of these guys solo, but I think they really benefit from bouncing off of each other here. I think Scum is at his best when he is working with a worthy ally, and I think in both Insane Poetry and in Smallz 1, he's got those. Smallz' flow here is so good.
Do you think you mean anything to me? All the bad shit in my life is what I did to me, truly. I mean, look at all the bruising, doubled up with all these fucking assholes I've been choosing. I've made all the wrong choices in my life, and every time I do, I come in contact with my knife. People
are sleeping on Smallz 1, and they need to stop because she's been dope for 20 years. Scum, Smallz 1, Unloved by God, Unwanted by Satan, out on LSP right now. Do yourself a favor and check it out. Now, it would not be a do it for the underground without some low-key talk. This guy's always busy, always working, and we're always talking about it. I will say that we probably missed his biggest album of the year by having a break in The Feeding of Neculi, The Fifth Oracle. Great record. It's a rock record. Low-key is singing his ass off. The production is insane. It's very heartfelt. There's some real earnest, like, emotional stuff on there. Very much worth your time. I talked about it already at length on another show I do called Shadowland Offerings, which you can find on the Shadowland Universe's YouTube page, run by Loki. It's his platform. It's me. It's DC Fago Guy, Juggalo YouTube legend, DC Fago Guy, and our friend Gage, Wasteland Waldo on the internet. He has been a low-key fan since the early 2010s. And the three of us get together about once a month and discuss all things low-key, all things Shadowland. We did a deep dive episode on The Feeding of Neculi. I'm going to link it in the description. So I'm not going to get too into that record on this episode because at this point it's from last November and I've talked about it at length. So go watch that, please. But as far as 2026 goes, Loke is just getting started. We're about halfway through his spring schedule, which covers March and April. The first one was dominated by Neon Sermon. Musically, this is the new music roundup. He dropped a remix EP of existing Neon Sermon tracks. The first version of the album was done by S.O.N front to back. These remixes were all done by Low-Key himself, and they are really, really cool. Like, if you like the Algorithm remixes he did last year, this is similar to that, but he's grown in the last year, you can tell, as a producer, and some of the sounds he's pulling from are elevated from that. He still does a little bit of the drum and bass stuff that was on there, but you can tell he's adding more counter melody keyboard lines and synths, and there's some cool samples and stuff. It is a really cool remix EP that I think would be worth your time to check out. But that's not it. This is also new video game roundup, apparently, because Low-Key has started himself a goddamn video game line. That's right, Sam Hain Games. He's building 8-bit games for Shadowland universes. The first one is Neon Sermon themed. It is called Chaos Control. You are playing as the 3 members of Neon Sermon, Low-Key, Batty Bat, and Crux 1, and you're going through and shooting military, I assume. You're on Earth fucking shooting motherfuckers in an 8-bit game. The soundtrack is 8-bit versions of stuff from the Neon Sermon catalog. It is really, really cool, and Low-Key year by year continues to just impress the shit out of me with the new projects he puts together and just the advancements in just like ideas and things that no one else is. Who's making a video game? This isn't even the last one. This is the first in a series. You know what I mean? Loke is always ahead of the game, and this is some really cool shit that you should absolutely check out. It'll be linked down below. 8bit.entershadowland.com is where you can find it. Check it out. And for our final new release of this episode, we've got Ouija Macc. You ever fucking heard of this guy? Ouija Macc, Chapter 17, Psychopathic Records. He's out here. Dropped a brand new album, Pyramid of Skulls. Now, you may or may not be familiar with the Dark Planet saga. I've broken it down on the show before. I'm not going to break it down again in super detail, but it starts with Dark Planet, and then you've got Temple of Ash, Sunken Church, and this is the final one, you know, as far as we've been hinted at, Pyramid of Skulls. Really, really good. It continues in kind of the murky Memphis influenced, but like almost like suffocating, almost swampy is the way I've been thinking about it. The stuff Devereaux's been doing on these recent Ouija Macc albums, all the Dark Planet exploration albums or whatever you want to call them, has been really, really singular, really cool, very like immersive in soundscape. It feels like you're on another planet, you know? And Ouija, this is like almost a concept album about cutting heads off. He's cutting off heads and keeping the skulls to build the Pyramid of Skulls. And there's a bunch of tracks where he's, you know, getting the bad guys in classic Juggalo fashion, whether it be abusers or racists or whoever. He is chopping off them heads, putting them in his bag, and collecting them for the Pyramid of Skulls.
This severed head was a bigot from the clan. Couldn't I let him reproduce and started all again? Hell nah. Sick fucks brainwashing little kids. That's why I got no remorse for anything I did.
This is a super cool record. I am a big fan of this. I don't know if it's my favorite of them. It's way too early to say, and opens the door to God knows what comes next, because if you've been paying attention to Ouija Macc since, Gutter Water, I think, is where this started, there has always been something leading you to the next thing, whether that be the elements or the elements leading into detritus, leading into Dark Planet, leading into these location-based things. And when we got these list of locations, Pyramid of Skulls is the final one. And the album, at least the streaming version, which is all I've heard thus far, does not have any hints, tips, tricks, or otherwise about what happens from here. Hey, it's me, editing Robbie, with an update. So since I filmed this, I have gotten access to the deluxe versions of Pyramid of Skulls, and there are bonus tracks on each one that each have the same outro that contains some backwards talking, some classic backwards talking, and here is what that says.
Into the nether dust depths, there is no search like searching with. There is no place like the tomb.
So yeah, there's more to come. Ouija also shared this image of the 3 scrolls with the existing albums that have been released, plus a 4th. So there's more Dark Planet saga to come, and we will keep you posted. I don't know what comes next. I'm very excited to see what it is, because this album is excellent. There's some really good songs on here. Do not sleep on it. If you think you don't like Ouija Macc, that's fine. You don't have to, but check this out and just give it a chance, because I think there is something here you will like. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. That's the end of it. Season 3 is here. First one's in the fucking can. It's done. You watched it already. Next one, next month. We're going to be dropping some shit in between. Only way you're going to know about that is if you subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the fucking channel. Like it, comment, hit the notification bell, do the whole shit, do all the YouTube fucking shit. We need your support. Otherwise, we're going to have to close. I got the word from the landlord that if we don't get up to 1,000 subscribers, we got to close the doors, because the rent is getting too high and the landlord can sell it, going to turn it into condos. So yeah, I don't know. Subscribe to the channel or it's turning into condos. What can I tell you? Outside of that, we've got the Diff Tug radio playlist, which you can find down below. It's on Apple Music and Spotify. All the music we talked about earlier in the show is going to be featured in there. It is constantly being updated if there's an underground single or album that drops and it is top quality, top tier shit. I'm putting it on the playlist, so give that a spin, catch up on some drops you might have missed. On top of that, I already mentioned the Shadowland Offerings podcast that I do with DC Fago Guy and Gage. That's over on Shadowland Universes. If you want to go a little deeper into the low-key universe, sign up for the Circle, where you can find a whole series of videos I'm making alongside Low-Key called Shadowland History. I'm sitting down with Low-Key himself and talking through each album and era of his career. We just dropped a great one about the first Mission Infect era chemical threats, phase 1 and phase 2. It's a 30-minute documentary about the origins of Mission Infect, basically, and really, really cool stuff. So just go to entershadowland.com. All the shit you're going to want for Low-Key is there. And if I was not busy enough, my other podcast, the ICP With We Show, it started out as ICP With We, then for a long time it was Twisted With Us. It started with my friends Eric and Aaron going through the ICP catalog top to bottom. Then I joined. We went through the Twisted catalog top to bottom, finished that. Now we are just talking about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. A lot of underground stuff, a lot of newer acts, a lot of the stuff that we talk about on this show, I'm talking about there with those guys in an audio format. Very fun. We had a 2-hour interview with Darby O'Trill recently that I think is not to miss. 2 hours talking about his entire career, talking about his origins, working with Keegan Grimm. Did you even know that was a thing? Listen to the fucking interview, idiot. That show's dropping every 2 weeks. The ICP With We Show, wherever you get podcasts. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that shit. Listen, I'm busy as fuck, all right? But as long as you check some of this stuff out, it's worth it. I'm just out here trying to make you some content, baby. Just a little bit of something for you to fill your day with, you know? Support the scene, support the underground, listen to these fucking records, buy some merch, go to a show, you know, all the regular stuff. We love you. We are so happy you viewed this video, and strap in. Season 3 is going to be a banger. We got some shit in the works that you're not going to fucking believe. So until next time, I am Robbie Pankow, for Fats King, for S.O.N, for Score, and 7 years ago, telling you to come back and watch us next month, baby. We're going to be here. But for now, I say this. Bye-bye.